Oh man, I just did a 30-minute take with my microphone off. Killing myself here, and it was good stuff too. Let's see. Hopefully I can get some of it back. Um, but Kyle was, well, and I'm sure I can because I'm just that type of guy, you know. But so my buddy Kyle, he liked my singing and me trying to pronounce funny words, and he said maybe that'd be a good way to start it, which ain't a bad idea. So I think I might start doing a song of the day, and so I was starting with "Wild Thing," because I'm a wild thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm a wild thing. It's a wild thing. I think I love you, but I don't know for sure. And yeah, so get that stuck in your head for the day. Wild thing. I'm kind of bummed that I lost. That was almost a 27-minute recording, and my microphone was off. It's a little upsetting, but not bad. I mean, it's good for me. Have some self-reflection. Really got this zoned in now, though. You know what I mean? So wild thing. You make my heart sing. You make everything. Wild thing. Discernment. I think I love you. I want to know the truth. All right, and so that's Trogs by some Taylor, someone, Chip Taylor. All right, give them some credit. And then our funny word for the day is Latin, right? Because I don't want to make fun of people. So, and their names, I don't want to make people feel bad. So I was going to go with some Latin. And it's discernere. 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 Actually, that's right. So what? What, fool? Yeah. That's classic. And then escalate. That should have been the word right there. Excalastical. Excalastical. Discernere. Discernere. Whereas classical's discernere. Right? Something like that. So there's some Latin for you. That's not as funny as yesterday, I guess. But, and we'll get into some of that later. And so for today, what do we got? What do we got? Where we at? Where we at? How about a moment of silence? Yes, moment of silence. All right. So I can get my act together here. All right. Hey, fam, friends, soul tribe, my peeps. Welcome back. It's Wednesday, midweek, and for me, this is blade sharpening day. Get it out, sharpen it up. And not just physically or mentally, but spiritually. Today, I'm sharpening my sword of discernment. Discernere. Because that blade dulls fast in a world full of noise, emotion, and confusion. I've been sitting heavy on this theme lately. Discernment. And I was having a chat with a friend, and it really got me thinking. And so I've been leaning into it heavy because that's where the Spirit was pushing me. And so that's where I've been. Yeah, and so what's been hitting hardest is that this isn't about pointing fingers or judging others. It's about discerning my own heart, getting real honest with myself. Sometimes I have to ask, is this really God leading me, or is it just Richard doing what Richard wants and calling it spiritual? Right? Because that's the easiest, just letting myself get in the way. It's classic Richard 101. And so, is it me or is it God? And I have to discern between that. And that's a hard truth, but a necessary one. Because even good intentions can lead us astray if we're not grounded in truth, stillness, and surrender. I've learned that discernment doesn't come in the chaos, it comes in the quiet. When I sit with God in silence and let Him speak, not just to my ears, but to my heart. So today I slow down, I get quiet, and I sharpen the sword again. Discernment, discernment, discernment. And this is true to me because when I get still, be still and know. And when I do that, God does come to me. And is it God? I think so, because a lot of times there's things I don't like, things I don't want to hear. And could I be doing that to myself? Yeah, I'm sure. But I'd be pretty impressive if I really was. And like yesterday, and I was meditating. I prayed and I was meditating on it, and it came to me, and it was mind, body, and soul. And that was so profound to me. And it's weird how sometimes the most simplest things are the most profound. But God wants it all. He doesn't want just a part of it. He wants all of me. He wants my mind, my body, and my soul. And it needs to reflect that, because talk is cheap. I can say whatever I want. But it doesn't make it real, because it's just talk. So I want to see action. And actions speak louder than words anyways, right? So, yeah. Discernment, discernment, discernment. Mind, body, and soul. Give it all to God is what I was told. This is my journey. I'm just sharing it. So thanks for being here, by the way. So today I slow down, I get quiet, and I sharpen the sword again. So today we'll start with Jeremiah chapter 17, 9, 10. Where are ya? The heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? I, the Lord, search the heart and examine the mind, to reward each person according to their conduct, according to what their deeds deserve. Yeah, that's a good one there too, because what your deeds deserve. And God does know our intent. Yeah, that's deep stuff right there. So that reminds me that no matter how right I think I am, I've still got blind spots. And that's why I ask God to search me daily, to examine what I can't see. And that's why I feel like, too, in that discernment, like in the stillness, I feel like it is God, because it tells me things I can't see and things I probably sometimes don't honestly want to hear. But, doesn't I got to use my discernment and decide for myself. And is it godly? Is it the truth? Does it make sense even? Questions I have to ask myself. Some warrior wisdom. Silence is a source of great strength. Lao Tzu. I'm learning that some of my strongest decisions came after I sat in silence first. Silence teaches me patience. It gives me space to hear what's really going on. And it's back to the silence. You know what else teaches me patience? Trading on the stock market. Holy moly, you better have patience or you'll get eaten alive. But we're getting off topic here. All right. So for my sobriety warriors, just for today, I will not follow every feeling. I will pause, pray, and perceive. My old life was full of quick reactions and impulsive choices, but today I practice discernment. I sit with things, I ask God, and that's how I stay on track. And I think God really does want what's best for us, and if we can get ourselves out of the way, and that's the hardest part, I think, is getting self out of the way. And that's what holds us back in the spiritual principles too. Like, there's the physical, and we get so caught up in it that we miss the spiritual aspects of things because our self gets in the way, yeah. So our inspirational quote for the day: discernment is not knowing the difference between right and wrong. It is knowing the difference between right and almost right. Charles Spurgeon. That one hits me deep. Almost right has tripped me up more times than I can count. That's why I'm learning to dig past the surface and wait on the peace from God before I move. And that's again, with my philosophy and stuff. If I build my foundation on God, I feel like I'm safe exploring these other things because, again, if it doesn't resonate with the Word, with God, then I throw it out. And even 99.99% truth is a lie, right? So, and that's fine. But I can use my discernment. And again, it's not about scaring people off. It's about winning people over. And so I feel like I need to be able to evaluate these outside sources. And yeah. So, hold on a second. This hour long now. Man, I'm still a little bit out of shape. My first one got not recorded because it was good. It was good, and I was going off the cuff. I'm getting some of it back here, but I was really flowing earlier. But we'll try again tomorrow. So our reflection question: where is my life? Am I calling something faith, but it's really just my will in disguise? And that it goes back to me getting in the way. Is it just my ego and my pride and, oh, look at me and my big brain, I'm so right? Or is it really God? Be still and know. All right, daily challenge. Spend 10 minutes today in complete silence. No phone, no music, no distractions. Just sit with God and ask, Lord, is there something I haven't wanted to see? Just sit with it. Sit with it. Give it to God. Mind, body, and soul. Give it all to God because He wants it all. Knowledge nugget. Your heart sends more signals to your brain than the brain sends to the heart. That's why emotions feel so real. But discernment is what filters truth from noise. Science is just catching up to what the Spirit has always known. Right? And science is just people trying to understand God, but this universe we live in, because to me, God's everything. He's all of it. All of it. And Jesus is the path, the way, the truth, the light. I like the truth. And the light. So science is just catching up, and even then, it don't even know. It's all most of it's theory, and they're proved wrong after they don't even know what they're talking about. It's just theory. Best guess. Hasn't been proven wrong yet. All right. Our prep tip of the day. In prep tip, they're not always going to be physical because in a bad situation, you got to have your mind and your spirit right too, or you won't survive. So it's the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. So our prep tip of the day: keep a gut check journal for decisions. Write down your initial sense of something, your gut feeling, then pause and pray. Revisit a day or two later and note what changed, what deepened, or what got confirmed. Develop a habit of pause and pray before major decisions. If your gut says, wait, listen, if your peace disappears, that's a red flag. Your spirit knows. Discernment isn't just spiritual, it's also practical. The more you track it, the sharper it gets. And I've been finding that to be true myself. You just got to keep at it. And sometimes it takes a minute, and you got to just sit there and drown everything else out. And sit there. Sit with it. Sit with it. All right. Our gardening tip. Before I plant anything, I check the roots. Top growth can lie. Roots never do. Same with people. Same with truth. What's under the surface always tells the real story. And this was like, man, I was up till like midnight writing last night, so that's why I'm a little, wild thing this morning. Although I'm always wild. So better watch out. But no. And I was really looking into like Hollywood and the symbology they put behind a lot of stuff. And yeah, it's not always bad, but if we're not using our discernment and noticing the subliminal messages that they're putting behind everything, like is that how they program us? Predictive programming, whatever? Because we're not realizing, and it's subliminal. And like the old Disney movies, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, I'm actually going to start a couple more channels and get deeper into this stuff. This is just for my grounding. So, but my point there is that you see it all around us, is the subliminal, the hidden message. And it's a lot of times covered with a pretty mask, you know, the masks we wear is, you know, Jim Carrey, the mask, whatever. But, and we all do wear masks, but also so do principles and spiritual principles wear masks. And sometimes they try to hide in the light, you know, and it's like Lucifer was one of the most beautiful angels. Is read that somewhere. Okay, maybe it's not true. I don't know. But the concept, the morning star, you know, the concept remains is sometimes, you know, deception hides as good things. And it's not always the case. And so we need to use our discernment. And that's why if my foundation is on the Word, my foundation is on God, I'll be fine. Because I can use my discernment. But should I not be watching some of those things? Maybe, but that's me. And I want to call it out for what it is and seek the truth and maybe help others see it. And in the end, does it matter? I think it does, you know. I could just study and read the Bible, but I think if I can call things out and show the truth behind them, I think it'll resonate with people more. And and I think it'll bring up some good conversations. And as long as if I stay founded in God and use my discernment, I think I'll be just fine. But each their own. And some people can't handle it. And if you can't handle it, don't do it. Because it will corrupt you. It can. If you're not very careful. And you better be founded, rooted in God. I mean, look at the world we live in. The proof's in the pudding, right? All right. So yeah, look at the roots. Look at the roots. And you know, that's the same way. You got to pull them out by the roots or they will grow back. And I've been doing a lot of self-reflection lately too, which finding the roots of a lot of like my alcoholism and addiction and what I was trying to drown out more than just my emotions or just trying to fit in. And it's ironic because maybe that's what we were all doing. We're all just trying to fit in, and when really we just need a better way. So word of the day, introspect. The definition, to examine one's own thoughts, feelings, and motives. So before I make that choice, I had to introspect and check if it was really spirit-led or just ego-driven. So introspection is how I keep my heart honest. It helps me stay in tune with God's will, not just my own noise. It's a humbling but powerful habit. Because, and again, I will get in my own way. Do it all the time. I am my own worst enemy. It is no surprise to me. You know? And so, I gotta give it to God. Mind, body, soul. Get out of my own way. Get out of my own way with my big brain and my ego and my pride. Put it to the side. Get out of the way. All right. Some trivia. Trivia from August 5th. And so for now, I'm just gonna, because I'm kind of lazy and I'm sick of dragging it over to the next day. And I'm pretty sure like your anticipation for the answer to the trivia question isn't what's bringing you back to my channel or to my daily groundings. So, we're gonna quit doing like, ooh, find out tomorrow, because I don't think anyone really cares. And I'm just gonna give it to you. So our trivia from yesterday was what ancient law started around 1745 BC and is considered one of the first written law codes. And that is the Hammurabi Code, written in Babylon. This set of laws was one of the first examples of justice being codified. It operated on the eye for an eye principle. That's not very biblical, is it? Eye for an eye. Well, I thought Jesus said, turn the other cheek, baby. Even though he didn't say baby, but that sounds a little not good in nature. But you know what I mean. Turn the other cheek, and I wasn't trying to be sexual about it. Let your light shine. All right. And so trivia for today. Which book of the Bible most directly focuses on discernment and wisdom by contrasting foolishness and righteousness? And that was Proverbs. And I love Proverbs, and Psalms is good too, but Proverbs got some good stuff in it. You know, it's like the Old Testament kind of puts me to sleep, especially when I get into the genealogy. I got to skip over it sometimes, but man, I'm like, you know, be snoring on that stuff. But the New Testament, man, it gets me riled up, dude. I like the, you know, Psalms, Proverbs, John, Matthew. I'm still reading it, but man, that stuff really gets me pumped up sometimes. It's got some good stuff in there, really. All right. This day in history, August 6th, 1945, Hiroshima bombing. Yeah, what up, dog? The Hiroshima bombing. United States dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima, Japan. Over 140,000 people died by the end of the year, marking one of the most devastating and controversial events in history. That's a tragedy. And man, that was nasty stuff. Atomic bombs, too, are nasty. Especially more people die from fallout and radiation poisoning than the initial explosion. And they actually blow up quite a ways above ground, because if it explodes on ground, it loses a lot of impact. I read a book on it once. E equals MC squared was the name of the book. It was actually a pretty good book. August 6, 1965, Voting Rights Act signed. President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act into law, a major victory in the American civil rights movement, prohibiting racial discrimination in voting. Yeah. All right. And then August 6, 1926, first woman swims the English Channel, Gertrude Ederle. That should have been my word for the day, right? Gertrude Ederle became the first woman to swim across the English Channel, breaking the man's record by nearly 2 hours. Oh, and she beat the men down. What's up, Gertrude? Well, kicking butt and taking names. That's what's up, dude. Get her done. That's funny. I wonder if she was really a woman or it was trans. Huh. Probably not. It was 1926. Wasn't a thing really back then. Maybe, or they were all just too afraid to come out. People would have tried to burn them like a witch or something, rather than use discernment and try to bring them to the truth. You know, you just got to deal with what you got and get yourself out of the way. See, I think that's a big problem today, now that I mention it. Like, people are so wound up in selfishness and, well, this is me, and they want, you know, and we all are unique. Look at our fingerprints. Tells you right there. But, and so we can be unique, and, you know, I don't know, maybe it was running out of ways, so, but no, I think we got to get beyond self and be our true self. Be true to yourself, and your truth will shine through God, mind, body, and soul. All right. And our joke of the day: I used to be addicted to the hokey pokey, but I turned myself around. That's what it's all about. Jesus really turned me around. That was my higher power. Gave me hope, got me back to sobriety. I was gone for a while there, man. All right. I've been sober for a while now too, but some of it, man, that, you know, it took me 6, 7, 8, 9, longer than that. It took me over a decade to dig the hole, and with the blessings of God, I somehow filled that hole back in within a couple years. And here, you know, and then I got ahead. And I got to remember from where I came to where I am, and it really puts things into perspective for me. That'll give me some gratitude real quick. Because when I get, I want more, you know. But got to be grateful for what I got, because it's amazing that I've even made it this far so fast. And I owe that to a lot of the people around me for not abandoning me when I needed them the most, right? And a lot of that was family and some friends. Not many friends, but just the ones that have pretty much always been there. All right. So a little bit of closing reflections. Today wasn't just about learning, it was about refining. I've been asking myself hard questions, checking my motives, slowing down. Because if I want to live in truth, I can't keep letting my emotion, wounds, or pride steer the wheel. I got to get myself out of the way. My big brain, too. Don't forget about that one, because we all think we're so smart when we don't know nothing, you know? All I know is that I don't know. All I know is that I don't know nothing. Discernment doesn't always feel comfortable, but it always leads to clarity. And when I trust God to search my heart, He always shows me what I need to see, even if I'm not going to like it. And that's part of pursuing the truth, is I have to take even the things I don't like and analyze them through the pros and the cons. I take the things I do like, the pros and the cons, and the things I don't like, and I put them to the fire. I put them to the test. And if they don't withstand the fire, they're out. They're gone. But yeah, I like that. I just came up with that. What's up, dog? That was a good one. Thank you, Lord. All right. So discernment doesn't always feel comfortable, and sometimes you got to sit with it. And that one's from Matt. He told me, he's like, you know what? Sit with it. Just sit with it too. Don't play with it. Don't touch it. Just sit with it. Especially the uncomfortable things. Give them the space. Give them space and sit with it. All right. So I'll keep quieting the noise, sharpening the blade, and choosing the narrow road, the one that leads to truth, peace, and purpose. And I like that. Put it to the fire. If it can't withstand the fire, if the truth is so fragile, it's going to break under the smallest amount of pressure, it's not the truth. Use your discernment with the spirit in your body. I'm getting riled. I think I'm feeling the spirit there. All right. Little prayer. God, search me. Show me what I haven't wanted to see. Help me discern what's real, what's true, and what's yours. Quiet my heart, sharpen my spirit, and lead me in your way. Help me, Lord, to get myself, my big brain, my ego, my pride out. Mind, body, soul. Help me to hand it all to you, Lord. All of it. Amen. All right, going off script again there a little bit, but it's a good prayer. All right, so our mantra for the day, not my will, but yours be done. I will listen, I will discern, I will trust. Mind, body, soul, all of it. All right, and then, so I wanted to cover discernment a little bit, so we discernere, so we know, we have a little definition. So the definition of discernment is the ability to perceive, understand, and judge wisely, especially in matters that are subtle, complex, or spiritual in nature. It's the skill of recognizing truth from error, right from wrong, and the genuine from the fake, often when the difference is hard to detect. It comes from the Latin root discernere, meaning to separate, distinguish, or sift apart. Spiritual discernment, biblical context. In a biblical or spiritual sense, discernment is more than just being smart or perceptive. It's the spirit-led ability to test what is true versus what just sounds good. And a lot of times that's it, because if it sounds good, we're running with it. But a lot of times, the truth, I don't like it. I really don't. And sometimes I do. It's not always that way. But again, I can't be letting my bias, my will, my ego, my emotions get in the way. I got to let self out of the way, get Richard out of the way, and truly give it to God. Truly, I'd say to you, right? All right, I don't know where this thing cut me off, but so we're defining discernment here. Discernment is the ability to perceive, understand, and judge wisely, especially in matters that are subtle, complex, or spiritual in nature. It's the skill of recognizing truth from error, right from wrong, and the genuine from the fake, often when the difference is hard to detect. And it comes from the Latin root discern, meaning to separate, distinguish, or sift apart. And so you got to put it to the flame. Does it hold up? It's discerning that my camera keeps cutting me off, and I'm getting some really good stuff, and I feel like that might be the devil fighting me here. I got to get my act together, because I don't know when it cut me off. I'm a little upset, honestly. I mean, I still got memory, so quit cutting me off. All right, it's getting me heated. Let's get rooted here. So it comes from the Latin root discernere, meaning to separate, distinguish, or sift apart. Spiritual discernment, because that's twice this morning. It did it to me. I did it to myself. Okay, spiritual discernment, not paying attention, not being aware of my surroundings, and not turning my microphone on. That's on me. Spiritual discernment. In a biblical or spiritual sense, discernment is more than just being smart or perceptive. It's the spirit-led ability to test what is true versus what just sounds good. Because a lot of times, I just want what sounds good. The truth isn't always, rarely is it what I want to hear or what I think sounds good. And so, I got to be real with that, and I got to sit on it. And sit with it. And so, sense what's from God versus what's from the flesh or the enemy. Know when to speak or be silent. Move or stay still. Recognize deception even when it's subtle or cloaked in light. 2 Corinthians 11:14. It's like spiritual vision. You're not just looking at things but into them. And it goes back into, like I was saying earlier, with the Hollywood and seeing the subliminal, the deeper meaning. And that's spiritual warfare at work, I believe. Programming your mind and making you think it's okay, and it takes time, but they do it over time. It's generational. And like I said, put it in the flame. If it can't hold up to the flame, if it's so fragile that it breaks, it's not the truth. And get yourself out of the way. Get your mind out of the way, get your ego out of the way, get your pride out of the way. Get yourself out of the way. Your big brain. Look at me, I'm so smart. We don't know nothing. It's science states it. It's all theory. We think we know things. And is that part of what drowns us from our spirit? Is we think we're so smart that we can't see the truth? Because we're so caught up in the material, we can't get to the spiritual. Because we're drowning it out with the more, I want, I need, and we can't figure out what we really need is to get back to God, mind, body, and soul. All of it. Give it all to God. Yeah, right? And so, practicing discernment here. Don't do it, camera. Practicing discernment here. Outside of just spiritual matters, discernment also shows up when you sense someone's intentions before they say much. You feel a check in your spirit before making a big decision. You pause before reacting, knowing there's more beneath the surface. And you realize not every opportunity is from God, even if it looks good. And that feeds back into, just because it looks good doesn't mean it's from God. 99.99% of a truth is still a lie. And so we got to be careful. But if we have our foundations built on God, we can expose the truth of everything else to awaken other people. And maybe, some people need to just worry about themselves, and that's fine. But that's not where the Spirit's sending me. The Spirit's telling me I'm here to question, open eyes, and possibly awaken. But either way, I'm here to question and seek the truth. And in order to do that, sometimes I'm going to have to go beyond the Bible. And I'm going to have to dig into the things nobody likes to talk about, nobody wants to read, and so be it. But I feel I'm rooted in my foundation strong enough that I can do that, and I'll be all right. And yeah, it'll take some work. So practical discernment. Okay, what discernment is not? It's not judgmentalism. It doesn't condemn people. It evaluates truth. So I'm not here to judge people. I'm here to seek truth, free of bias. And I don't care. Y'all can judge and do what you want, but I'm trying to be beyond that. I'll save the judgment for God. And it's not suspicion. It isn't driven by fear or paranoia. It's driven by truth in the spirit. And looking beyond the material, putting on your spiritual lenses and taking off your material lens, and seeing things for what they truly are. The masks we wear, for real though. And it's not ego-based. It doesn't prove you're right. It leads you to what is right. And so I got to get my bias, myself, my mind out of the way, because I will be my own worst enemy. And yeah, and put it to the flame, the test. Put it in God's flame, the truth, the word. And if it doesn't hold up, look at the spiritual principles there, and maybe we can shed some light on it and get rid of the shadows, get rid of the darkness, and bring more people to the truth, to the light. So yeah. Discernere, Latin, apart or separately, to sift, to distinguish, to perceive, or to separate. So what it literally means, to separate or sift apart, or distinguish by careful perception. It implies sifting through information, emotion, or appearances to find what's true or real underneath. Think of it like ancient people sifting grain, separating the wheat from the chaff. That's what discernment does with truth and deception, flesh and spirit, good and almost good. So, all right, we're way over today, but I think this is an important topic, and I'm getting into it. The Spirit is moving me sometimes to speak about this. So, thanks for tuning in. And we will, again, I'm going to start some other channels. I'll go deeper into this stuff. And I'll try and stick to my grounding here because I don't want to scare people off. So, as we always say, much love. God bless. You're amazing. Let your light shine. Peace out. Little bit of truth at dawn. Have an amazing day, and you are amazing. God bless.